One time, he farted an entire plum. I was plumb surprised.
They actually hired drinking consultants to learn for speed and precision.
Up yours, Johnny Cash.
Okay. Grab him, boys. You weren't trying to play me for a fool, were you, Wolfhouse?
Because there's this thing called Das Boot. It's this gigantic glass boot, and that's kind of the Achilles heel of their team until they try to learn to get around it.
Explodes!
It's virtually impossible to handle.
It's impossible to handle.
It's unavoidable. The Germans know how to do it. Frankly, I find the whole thing a little frustrating because
And it plays a fun role in the movie.
Frustrating. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. You get the hell off of me! Hey.
Time for the greatest show for start anew. The ringmaster James, him step inside the frame with a wide angle.
Good morning, Creature Features, and welcome back to another episode of Cinema Clown Around. And this is episode 10 of Cinema Clown Around, so we have reached double digits. A lot to be excited for. And thank you all so much for all the views, all the comments and likes and everything. I really appreciate it. And before we get started, I'd just like to remind everybody to please subscribe, comment, like, and let me know any topics or anything that you'd like me to cover. And so today, this episode is going to be mainly focused on the Broken Lizard crew. So they're known for the Supertroopers movies, Beerfest, that's my personal favorite. And I'm definitely going to do a preview of Supertroopers 3, which is coming out here in a few weeks. So to get us started, also I wanted to talk a little bit about, I'm trying to shop two of my films to film festivals, get them into their first festivals. And it's my short films you can find on my YouTube. It's Voodoo Romance and then also Clown Sweat. And I'm going to add the trailers to this video, to the end of the video if y'all want, and you can check those out. Or I'll just plug it in right here, right now.
Sorry I'm late. I had the weirdest dream last night. He's not from here. He's not even from this reality. We need all the help we can get. So are we all sick? Marlon, tell us about your dream.
I don't really want to, but... There's a clown sitting there in the middle of the hallway.
Thing must be destroyed. Fill our hearts with love and joy.
a magic spirit board? That's horrifying.
It's the poltergeist plank.
In the future as in the past, we ask the Great Spirit.
And I know that clown's a danger to our playgrounds.
Who's the new student in the program?
Oh, I'm sorry. I think she's from New Orleans. I'm Bernadette.
New Orleans.
How to use voodoo for romance.
I saw this video on the internet.
Enjoy the funny smell of a sweaty clown's body odor.
Voodoo? Like magic?
The most important ingredient in the charm recipe is you need something of theirs. Put this object inside the doll.
What's wrong with you, bro? My pastor will probably crucify me.
Au revoir from Jimmy Bone. And then also coming up, I've got an Adam Sandler special video. So I cover 11 different movies of his, and I made it a real special video just because we've reached double digits. So I wanted to have fun with it and do a little bit more than just me sitting at the desk chatting. And also coming up, I've got an Eli Roth focused episode because his movie, The Ice Cream Man, is coming out in a few weeks. So looking forward to that one. It looks like a horror movie with definite elements of comedy with it too. And then, of course, I also want to cover his contemporary there, Rob Zombie, who both Eli Roth and Rob Zombie were instrumental in the early horror of the 2000s. And they've kept up with their filmmaking over the years, and I really enjoy watching both of their films. Also, I wanted to focus on a Red Rocket video. So I don't know if y'all know anything about Red Rocket. It stars Simon Rex, and it was actually shot right here in this area. So like Texas City, Lamarck, just right here in like the greater Houston area of town. So if y'all didn't know that, I would definitely recommend you check out Red Rocket. I'm going to be doing a whole episode just focused on that movie. So, and then of course, I also want to focus on another one that was filmed in the Seabrook, Kima, League City area called Full Moon Over Blue Water. And this one stars Gene Hackman. And this is an interesting film. I'm gonna go into like a lot more detail in it in the video and show you all some clips and stuff, but I would highly recommend it if you live in the greater Houston area to watch it. And then of course, also coming up, we have the Spider-Man movie. So Spider-Man #4, I'm gonna give you all a review of it next time and let you know what I think. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be pretty good. I also like the way that Marvel's introducing new villains. And sure, we had the Punisher in the shows and stuff, but now we actually get to see him on film, so I'm looking forward to that. And then, of course, I'm looking forward to bringing in some guests. So, you know, if you'd like to be on the show, message me and let me know, and we can schedule a time to have you be on the show. So, to start us off, I wanted to chat a little bit about some of the films that I've seen. I saw Minions and Monsters, The Odyssey, and Motor City. And just to kind of start us off with Minions and Monsters, I thought it was an excellent animation throughout the whole thing. This is going to be hopefully in the Oscars just because it looks so good. Colorful, loud. It was a really fun movie. I actually also really liked it too because the main character's name was James. So, you know, that's my name. And that's always fun. And he's a filmmaker. So having that in common with the main filmmaker with the main character was pretty special there. It was packed with stars too. I mean, you have Christoph Waltz, Allison Janney, a lot of stars in the movie, and some of them have just kind of small roles, but others are in it for like pretty much the whole movie. So I would highly recommend Minions and Monsters. It has been out for a few weeks, so maybe you can probably wait to just catch it at home and save a little money. But it was something that I saw at the last minute, but I ended up actually really enjoying it. And then, of course, the Odyssey. Let's get into this one. So Christopher Nolan's epic film, literally an epic. And one thing I do have to say, Matt Damon was really good in the Odyssey. I enjoyed seeing him, although I think that Matt Damon needs to trim his nose hairs just a little bit because they're actually starting to blend into his beard. And that was a little distracting, especially in IMAX. And I was sitting kind of low to the front, so I'm looking up into Matt Damon's nose, and that let me know it's time for a trim, Mr. Damon, for sure. And then, of course, there were lots of stars in this film, a ton of them, packed stars. Almost every role was a large name. But all the screen time was unbalanced. And I guess you get that with a long movie like this, which it was over 3 hours. And that's pretty ridiculous considering that's just way too long to sit. And don't get me wrong, it was a really good film. But one of the things I was expecting was more monsters throughout the whole thing. Because there are a ton of monsters in the original Odyssey, and I feel like they left out a lot. I mean, they encounter 5 or 6 different kind of creatures or beings. I don't want to spoil too much about it, but I think they could have had more monsters in the film. And then, of course, we got to talk about the Cyclops. So this is the iconic scene in the story, and it has been an iconic scene through pop culture. I remember as a kid hearing about the Cyclops, and one thing I have to say about Christopher Nolan's Cyclops, it was absolutely magnificent. That was a great scene, and I feel like this is going to be on the list of the best of Christopher Nolan's films. Such a cool scene. I was just sitting there watching it on the big screen, just going, okay, this is really cool. This is pure Nolan, and it was a lot of fun. Also, the scene was realistic in the worst ways. So I'm sure y'all can probably assume the Cyclops ends up getting hungry. So he goes for a few of the different soldiers in Odysseus's crew there. And you can hear them just like munching on them, just kind of uncaringly, almost like they were a fruit roll-up. And also the way that the Cyclops looked too, it actually looked like a realistic interpretation of what a Cyclops would look like. I'm not sure if that's the proper term, but somebody who maybe has that condition. that's what it looked like to me anyway. It resembled pictures and stuff that I've seen online. The Cyclops was human. It had human characteristics, but it also just, I think it was the fact that it looked so realistic is what made it so scary. And, you know, I think this was like 50 or 60 feet tall. I also read online that Christopher Nolan actually used a real, life-size puppet of a Cyclops in order to give the actors something to act against. Now, I think that's really helpful and something that if I was a filmmaker and had to deal with computer effects, I would definitely want something standing there for my actors to at least look at and act off of. And of course, you know, the directors, or you can have other people do that, but really just seeing the large scale of the Cyclops, and I mean, just checking out the picture of the model, I mean, it was really cool. So this is definitely the highlight of the film, but as I had mentioned, like, scenes like that with the monsters were the coolest part of this whole film. Otherwise, it was just really long, a lot of sailing, a lot of Odysseus communing with spirits or gods that aren't really there, or maybe they are there. At the very beginning of the film, Christopher Nolan puts in a time of apparent magic. So, I mean, was it magic? Was it not magic? I think it actually was, personally. I think that there's definitely magic going on there in ancient Greece and in this story. But we should have seen more of it, and we should have saw more monsters, too. I heard that this was actually compared a little bit to a superhero movie, which had me a lot more excited about it going into it, considering it's so long. So it's like, okay, we're going to get some fights, which you did. You got some creatures, and you had some good stuff. But I think considering it was 3 hours, they could have given us more. Now, another thing I heard were people were coming out talking on this movie saying, oh, well, they're not actually, they wouldn't be speaking English in ancient Greece. And I know Tom Holland, who plays Odysseus' son, came out and said, hey, like, we would be speaking Greek, obviously. I mean, but, you know, it's a movie, so we don't have to be critical of the fact that maybe we're not being completely accurate. And, I mean, that makes sense. I definitely agree with Tom Holland's side of that point, but I would definitely recommend seeing the Odyssey in theaters if you get the chance and if you have the time, although it is really long. So if it's either that or Spider-Man, which is coming out in a couple days now, just probably go see Spider-Man and wait for the Odyssey for, I don't know if it would probably be an HBO Max or a Max release, because I think it's Warner Brothers, but I'm not positive on that. So worth checking out, and it's got some good stuff, but definitely too long. And then, of course, up next, we've got Motor City. So this one was interesting. It was definitely an indie film, and it was starring Alan Ritchson, which I know him as Hawk from Titans, the Max series. And it's a pretty entertaining DC series. And then, of course, Shailene Woodley is also in this. I remember first encountering her, I think, on the film The Descendants with George Clooney, set in Hawaii. That one's definitely one worth checking out. And then, of course, Ben Foster's in this movie. And then his performance in 30 Days a Night is, in my opinion, borderline legendary. I loved it. I think he's so much fun. He plays an excellent sleazeball. He was also in the movie Hell or High Water, which I need to watch that one again, for sure. This was actually pretty much a silent film, or nearly a silent film. There are lines and there's definitely sound, but there's not a whole lot of dialogue throughout the whole movie. And I did not know this going in. I was surprised by it, but I actually ended up really enjoying it. This reminded me a lot of this Christmas movie starring Joel Kinnaman called Silent Night. Now, this one's interesting because it's a Christmas revenge story of a father who is avenging the death of his son. And of course, without dialogue, you know, you're going to have to rely on emotions, acting, you know, the eye line, things like that. And Joel Kinnaman mainly is known for action, but he did an excellent job in Silent Night. And I would recommend it. It's definitely one I need to watch again, but I think I liked Motor City and the silence and how they do the dialogue in that one compared to Silent Night. I ended up enjoying the whole film of Motor City all the way through. It was engaging. It was fun. It focuses on an Army Ranger who is committed a crime, and then he's put in prison, and then he ends up having his buddies help him break out of prison in order to avenge being put there in the first place. So I think it's really cool. It's cool seeing them all work together and the way they tactically plan the downfall of the Ben Foster character, who he plays the main villain in the film. And this film also, what was nice about it is it's 90 minutes. So compared to the Odyssey, I mean, half the time pretty much. And real to the point, short and enjoyable, and you're out of the theater pretty quick. So this also proves that Richardson is more than just an action star. Richardson can act, considering he's not really given a whole lot of dialogue to work with, and it's all about the emotions, just like that Silent Night film. So this is definitely a good one, and I would highly recommend Motor City. You don't have to see it in the theater. It's good, but if you need to, you can always wait to see it at home, or wait till it hits a streaming service, because it will more than likely in a few months. And of course, Shailene Woodley in this film, she completely transforms as the love interest for Alan Ritchson, and you can barely recognize her. She's got blonde hair, which covers up her normal brunette look, and she does a really good job in this film. So, of course, Ben Foster, too. He is on brand as the sleazeball. He's got the substances, the suits, long pinky nail. And, now that's an interesting touch. I wonder if that long pinky nail was Ben Foster's idea, or maybe that's just what his nail looks like normally. But he was on brand, and definitely a lot of fun in this one as the villain. The action is done really well, too, in this film. It's brutal and stylish, and it's engaging. And you can tell whoever had choreographed everything did a very good job and was very thoughtful in setting all of these scenes up. Because in a lot of these, you've got the Army Rangers setting things up where the criminals are at complete and total disadvantages and surprised. And you see that playing out throughout the film. It definitely adds a whole lot more to this film. And I would highly recommend y'all go check out Motor City, and definitely a good film. So up next, we are going to get into my episode about the Broken Lizard crew. So we're talking about the Super Trooper movies. Of course, we got Super Troopers 3 coming up, so I'm going to give a little preview about that. And of course, I'm going to talk about my favorite Broken Lizard film ever, Beerfest.
Say goodnight, Popo. Good night, Popo.
Please let me know in the comments if you've seen any of these Super Trooper films, and if you're interested in the third one that's coming out this summer. So we're going to start with Super Troopers #1.
Give me a pie, apple. Do you want me to hold the spit? Just kidding, Officer Farva.
The first one that started it all.
That look like spit to you? Yeah.
From 2001. It was Jay Chandler-Seeker as Thorny, Kevin Heffernan as Farva, Steve Lemay as Mac, Paul Soter as Foster, Eric Stolsky as Rabbit, and then you got Brian Cox and Marissa Coughlan, who plays Ursula. And this is a beloved film. It was beloved on video. I remembered, this started the whole Broken Lizard crew and their success, and it was really the introduction where we got to see what they were like. And, the chemistry was built in.
Go, girlfriend. I'm your mother. Come on, Thorny. You're losing to the rookie. It's embarrassing. Come on, Rabbit. You can do it. Oh, Rabbit, he's killing you.
The crew has this improv background. They started as an improv troupe, and then they graduated to making films. And I have to say, Brian Cox has one of the best roles in the film as the chief of police for them.
We're all in the same boat, fellas.
But our shenanigans are cheeky and fun.
Yeah, I mean,
He's kind of the ringleader of their circus that they have there.
Makes them not shenanigans at all, really. Evil shenanigans.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
At the Highway State Patrol. And this has remained a comedy cult classic, 25 years later.
Listen, Foster.
I'm naked.
No, this is the 25-year reunion, I guess, from the first film. So maybe that's why they're releasing Super Troopers 3 this summer. And Kevin Heffernan and Jay Chandler Seeker are definitely standout performances in this film, and it's crazy to think that Jay Chandler Seeker also directed this film. So, you know, it's really difficult to direct yourself. So, it was only $1.2 million that they made this film, and it looks like it was made with a lot more today. They were going to have a big shootout at the end, but they didn't have the budget for it. So instead, they just decided to go with the ending that they had, and really it turned out to be a much better film.
Get out of the car, man. Oh, man, this is a cop car. This is a... Hello. You boys like Mexico? Yeah!
This is a classic police movie. I know it's looked upon by law enforcement very favorably. They enjoy it. But this is also a classic stoner movie, so it's interesting to see that the two sides of that coin there of people enjoying this movie. I mean, it is pretty accessible to a lot of people. Definitely not a family film, but it's a lot of fun. And mainly it's about these guys as the Highway State Patrol and them going up against the city cops, and it's all the tension that they have between the two of them. And this was a fun movie. It, you know, started everything. Brian Cox actually, you know, they didn't know if they were going to get him. He had this dramatic background, very, like, looked upon highly actor, done a lot of stuff, and he actually had wanted to do a comedy, so he's like, hey, you know, let me in, let's do this. And this was at the Sundance Film Festival, picked up by Searchlight. And this actually, for a $1.2 million budget, for it to gross $23 million, I mean, that's insanely impressive. So yeah, Super Troopers started everything there for Broken Lizard. Now, we're gonna go into my personal favorite, Beerfest from 2006.
Let them dream! Yeah! Let them compete!
I love this film. It's a lot of fun. It's about this these two brothers who own a brewery in Colorado.
Well, why don't you pick your best two, Friedrich? Because you just opened up a can of corn. Right?
Who discovered that their grandfather has this secret recipe to this wonderful beer, and if they're able to find the recipe, then you know their brewery will see great success. But meanwhile, they have some family still in Germany who are looking for the recipe themselves.
How about a verse two, right? Hammerke, Schlemmer!
But this is all taking place around an international drinking competition, a beer drinking competition, where all the countries get together. And in this one, the United States is not actually allowed to play, so they pretty much have to force their way in. And this one's a lot of fun. It's a good comedy. Now, I almost saw this one at the movies. Let me tell you the story. I went with a couple friends to the film. I didn't really want to see it. I hadn't really enjoyed Super Troopers at the time. It was a film that had to grow on me, honestly. And I went and I sat down and I watched like the first few scenes, but at the same time, Snakes on a Plane was just a few theaters away. So I was like, you know what, I'll meet you guys afterward. And I walked over and saw Snakes on a Plane instead. Now that also is a cult classic, but I mean, looking back, I think I made the wrong decision. Snakes on a Plane is definitely a renter or something you catch on like, you know, a streaming service. It wasn't theater worthy, honestly. Beerfest would have been a much better choice because the film is absolutely hilarious. And this was their follow-up to Dukes of Hazzard, which Jay Chandler Seeker directed. And, you know, that was the studio film, but then Beerfest, that was his movie. And this film does have a hilarious U-boat scene where the Germans are spying on them in a Colorado lake. And spying on their brewery, and they're floating around in a U-boat. And they're also, German heritage plays a large part in this film because everything takes place in either Germany or the United States.
Haltet sie fest! Die beiden da, die waren's! Lasst sie nicht laufen! Hinterher, schnell!
And the von Wolfhausens is their name. They're both German. So there's kind of like the German and then German-American tension too that there is there. And me and my friends, we love this movie. It's a movie that we quoted, watched over and over and over.
Your old fur coat and no trousers, you are.
I'm sorry, one more time?
Shove off! We're gonna put the skitters in your Alan Wickers, you plonker!
$17 million budget, and it only made $20 million at the box office. So, you know, I will say I'm glad that at least the ticket money went to Beerfest as opposed to Snakes on a Plane. I think I at least made the right choice there. But I mean, to only make, you know, $3 million from, that's a really bad return. And I think that's one of the reasons why we didn't get the sequel that we were supposed to see with Willie Nelson. And he was going to bring them to an international cannabis smoking competition. And we actually haven't got to see that yet, but you know, it's not too late. Now, in this one, you see all the Broken Lizard crew return. And
I used to joke that if you cut open his belly, you would find a license plate and a tire and half of an 8-year-old boy.
And Cloris Leachman is the great Gam Gam, or their grandma, who kind of inspires them to go to Germany and join in the beer drinking competition.
He had this habit of swallowing his food whole. I called him the tiger shark.
And when they made this movie, I think they started off drinking low alcohol beer.
One time, he farted an entire plum. I was plumb surprised.
Or maybe even normal beer, but they said it just got way out of control and that they weren't able to keep everything straight. So they switched to low alcohol beer or even water with food coloring.
Here we are singing the beloved drinking songs of our country, and you sing us that bloody Jingo Jango? I reckon you're taking the piss out of Oktoberfest.
I can see definitely why they did that, and there were probably definitely a lot of beer drinking in general on the set. And now there's a fun party scene in Beerfest to look out for, and it's where the guys are all sitting down and they're actually drinking ram's urine on a roof in New Mexico, and they're talking and they say, you know, hey, I don't think this is the best way for us to train. We got to train like we're supposed to train. So, you know, why don't we go to a party? And they end up going to a high school party, which is, it's kind of funny seeing that go down. And, you know, check out that, or keep your eye out for the strikeout. And then there's a funny boxing scene. One of the things I really liked about this was the international aspect to it. Of you had all the different countries, and unfortunately, this film does play up highly on stereotypes.
Popo!
Hey.
Popo
It's Popo.
was given to me by my father.
But I mean, that's just kind of the part of the fun of the comedy.
Say good night, Popo. Good night, Popo.
And this is kind of an Olympics type atmosphere because you have the United States, and you know, towards the end of the film, they end up sneaking in and they're allowed to compete. So it makes it a lot of fun to watch. Now, this also has a really fantastic soundtrack to look out for. It's a drinking themed soundtrack, obviously. So starting with AC/DC's "Drink on Me," and then you have "Wasted" by the Paranoid Social Club. And then you can't forget Willie Nelson's "I Gotta Get Drunk," which it's interesting, you know, they use his song there, and he also has that cameo at the end of the film. So talking about biodiesel airplanes and Cheech and Chong, and love Willie. And also, they actually hired drinking consultants to learn for speed and precision.
Up yours, Johnny Cash.
Okay. Grab him, boys. You weren't trying to play me for a fool, were you, Wolfhouse?
Because there's this thing called Das Boot. It's this gigantic glass boot, and that's kind of the Achilles heel of their team until they try to learn to get around it.
Explodes!
It's virtually impossible to handle.
It's impossible to handle.
It's unavoidable. The Germans know how to do it. Frankly, I find the whole thing a little frustrating because
And it plays a fun role in the movie.
Frustrating. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. You get the hell off of me!
Beerfest was so important on the list that it had to be there at number 2. Dukes of Hazzard came out in 2005. Now, this doesn't have the main Broken Lizard cast. They all make cameos, but this mainly stars Sean William Scott as Bo Duke and Johnny Knoxville as Luke Duke. And then you got Jessica Simpson as Daisy Duke, Burt Reynolds as Boss Hogg, and then Willie Nelson, and he plays Uncle Jesse. And, you know, that's obviously where J. Chandler Seeker started working with Willie, it seems like, because then a year later he was in Beerfest. So, now I love this movie, this Dukes of Hazzard. It's based on a TV show that I guess they're bootleggers, so they make, or I guess they're moonshiners, or pretty much the same thing, but they make alcohol, and they're always kind of getting chased around by Burt Reynolds police officers. And one of the really fun aspects of this film is the stunt work, because J. Chandler Seeker said, look, we need we can't lean on CGI. We need the real General Lee, and that's, what they call the car, which I think it ends up, it's a Charger, and they ended up destroying 23 of these or something like that, which, I mean, that's a lot of cars to destroy and get ready for. But I think it makes the film so much more watchable. That's one of the reasons why I definitely highly recommend it. I've seen this film a bunch of times. It's kind of one of those ones that I just throw on and just watch, and almost every time it makes me feel like I'm back in high school. So that's kind of a fun aspect to it too. Now, Sean William Scott, you see him in the American Pie movies. He's excellent. And he's great in the Dukes of Hazzard, and his chemistry with Johnny Knoxville, undeniable. The two of them just nail the parts, and they really carry the movie. And then, Willie Nelson, obviously, he's got a really fun scene at the end there. And then Jessica Simpson, this may have been one of her first forays into acting, and she does a great job as Daisy Duke. And this was definitely a massive commercial success in general. It was a #1 movie, and worldwide it made over $111 million. So that's pretty good. That's probably one of the reasons then that he was allowed to do Beerfest with such a high budget, and unfortunately it just didn't make the money back. Now turning to Super Troopers 2.
We'd like to eat your papers. Can you show me your party papers?
You want to see our party papers?
Party papers. Yeah.
From 2018. So, all of the Broken Lizard squad returns, and you also have Rob Lowe as Guy LaFranc, and then Sean William Scott appears in a cameo. And this was, originally they said they needed $2 million, and they ended up making $4.6 million in a budget to make this, and it was crowdfunded. So, one of the most successful crowdfunded campaigns in film history. And you have fans who are saying, hey, we love this film, we want to see this sequel happen, and then it happened. I remember I was really excited for this. This was a 420 release too, so it was, kind of a wink at all the people out there who like to celebrate, and the Super Troopers definitely is on that history and list in genre of films. This is definitely similar kind of to Ghostbusters 2 in that the first film was so great, and the second one, I personally didn't like it as much. It's a really confusing plot where it's they're trying to defend the American border, which either goes into Canada or doesn't, and it's all about them and the competition with the Mounties. Fans loved it. So, I mean, I'm glad that fans loved it. I didn't hate on the film. It's just a film that I only watched once. I don't recommend to watch it. I'd say watch #1 instead, but I think I'm going to eventually go ahead and watch this one over again. So Rob Lowe does this really strange accent in the film. It's highly stereotypical, kind of a French-Canadian hockey player, and he's the mayor of this town. So that's something to look out for there. Now, this made $31 million. So $31 million off of a $4.6 million budget. You know you're going to get a sequel after that. I mean, that's just success. And it was crowdfunded, considering. So any studio that goes ahead and does it and releases the next one, I mean, they're probably going to make some decent money there. Now, I got to say, they were not at their peak for this film. I didn't think. I thought that their peak was Beerfest. That's still obviously a personal favorite of mine. But, you know, again, I'm happy that the fans loved it. Critics were pretty much split on this film, although they were mainly negative, unfortunately. Now, I look forward to trying to watch this again. Hopefully it hits streaming again before the third one comes out. And speaking of Super Troopers 3, it comes out in 2026 on August 7th, so this summer. Really looking forward to this one. So just a quick plot breakdown. Farva's wildly over-the-top engagement to Thorny's sister. So they're all planning this wedding, and you see kind of the cultures clashing there. And Thorny's upset about Farva marrying his sister, so he's trying to sabotage the wedding the whole time. And meanwhile, as this is all going on, there's a drug ring that kind of comes out, and then they have to go ahead and expose it and arrest the people who are responsible. So luckily, Jade Chandler-Seeker, he's back directing this one again. Looking forward to seeing his zany style. And, you know, he is bringing back all of them, and then all of them also actually helped write the script. So everyone has writing credit here. I'm happy to see that. Brian Cox is also back as Captain Hagen. Now, thinking about where Brian Cox was in 2001 to where Brian Cox now is in 2026, it's, you know, such a career evolution that he's had. He was that, you know, the theater actor, serious actor. Then he did some of the X-Men stuff. That was fun to see him doing comic book movies. He's been in some horror, some other stuff like that. But, you know, then also that HBO series, Succession, that he was really well known for. I still haven't seen that. I think I eventually will, maybe. Although I think I'd rather watch The Sopranos if I had the choice. And then we got Marissa Coughlan back as Ursula. So happy to see her return in all of the films. She was great in Tom Green's film, Freddy Got Fingered, which I think that also came out in maybe 2000, or maybe it was a 99 release. I don't know, I need to double check on that one. I should know. They're bringing some new people in for Super Troopers 3. So, you know, that's getting some fresh blood. You got Hannah Simone from New Girl. You also have Nate Faxon, Chance Crawford, Andrew Dismukes, and Lisa Gilroy. I like Lisa Gilroy. She does a lot of improv and comedy, and she's pretty funny. I've seen her on Rick Glassman's podcast and a few other podcasts, and I enjoy her work. It's good to see that they're bringing in some new people. I wonder if maybe they're going to try to continue the series with other people, or, you know, maybe we're going to get a Super Troopers 4. I mean, hopefully this one's a big hit. They are repeating that whole drug plot, though, which they seem to continually go for. Although, I guess, you know, they're police, so that's what they're supposed to do. It's going to be an interesting wrinkle there. I'm wondering, is this the final movies of the summer, or one of the final movies of the summer? You know, August 7th, and, you know, when you look at all the movie lists, you see a lot of this is going to be the final film of the summer, is what it seems like, at least. And that has me wondering, when does the summer movie season even end? Y'all, please let me know in the comments when you think the summer season ends, and is, you know, this film, Super Troopers 3, going to be the final film of the summer? We went over the Broken Lizard movies, you know, all the Super Troopers series, and then my personal favorite, Beerfest. Love that film. So I just definitely want to thank everybody for tuning in, and if there's anything y'all would like to see, anything, topics or anything you'd like me to cover, please let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. And everybody, have a great day and stay in the cinema.
Say good night, Popo. Good night, Popo.
One time, he farted an entire plum. I was plumb surprised.